Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Mayor Sal Bonacorso here at the Brewer Municipal TV 36 studio for a public service announcement. Today is June the 5th. I'm here to talk to you all, and I'm joined by Patrol Commander of the Clark Police Department, Mike Akabu. He's in charge of our patrol units out there, and he does a fine job. We have had a rash, as you know, of burglaries and car thefts throughout our community. I will say we are not the only community that is suffering this. If you follow the news throughout Union County and throughout New Jersey, this has become a problem that has been running rampant. What we have experienced is young juveniles, 16, 17-year-olds, coming into our community, looking at cars parked in the overnight mostly, and trying to get into them. If you happen to come out early in the morning and leave your car running, or you leave your key fob in your car, those are easy targets. They prey right on them. They're in your car, they're down the road, they're gone. Now, recently, which is more alarming and more disturbing, we've had a few breaking in entries into the people's residence looking for the key fob. To this date, and thank God, no one has been injured. None of our residents have been injured, and they haven't been in there rummaging through your house looking for other things. It's basically looking for a key fob to hit your high-end car, your SUV, and out they go. Captain Akabu will talk to you and with me today about this. I want you to know this is a problem. As your mayor, the Township Council, and of course the Township Police Department are taken very, very seriously. Just to share a little bit with you, this has struck my family. My brother's car was stolen out of his driveway, and just the other night my daughter was parked here at a friend's house in Clark, and she normally always locks her car, always does. She must have inadvertently didn't hit the button hard enough or whatever, and when she came out, someone rummaged through her car. Thank God there was a little bit of money in the change cup that was taken, and they threw some stuff around, nothing bad, and they didn't take the car at this point. But we're here because we need your help. Captain Akabu is going to talk to you today about how we stepped up patrol, how we've put people on overtime, and a few things we won't talk to you about because this will be broadcast throughout, and we don't want people to know exactly what we're doing, but we're here to tell the residents we are serious and we are doing this. So, Captain, I'm going to turn it to you for a second here. I know you and I have talked daily about this problem and some of the things you're doing. Would you explain to our citizens what are some of the precautions you're trying to do to deter this from becoming a problem?
Sir, certainly. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. So what we've been doing is we've been increasing patrols throughout the neighborhoods. I put a plan in place as far as you're going to see more increased visibility with something called the cruise lights tactic. It's basically officers ride around with their red and blues on a steady illumination, and this increases visibility throughout the communities. If unwanted guests that come into our town attempt to commit any crimes, they see these illuminated overheads, and obviously the goal is for them to get out of town. Also, we stepped up our overtime as far as with special police officers. That's something that we're going to actually put in place as well. And our Parkway Circle, you'll see officers there conducting Title 39 stops, as well as just being visibly present, which is also a big deterrent in having unwanted parties come into our town as well to commit these crimes.
Well, Captain, what I'd like to ask you, and so you can explain, I know the answer, obviously you and I talk a lot about this, but there are laws, ladies and gentlemen, in the state of New Jersey about chasing stolen cars, and it's not to happen. And I want you to just explain to the people of Clark about the laws and about chasing stolen vehicles.
Sure. So about a year ago, the Attorney General put out a couple of orders, and they reinstilled or reinserted the stolen vehicle pursuit guidelines. So with that being said, is since obviously it's a danger to police officers and civilians per se, our department, we looked at logistics and stats, and even though the Attorney General let municipalities chase, we decided not to pursue stolen vehicles because it brings a big liability into the town, and not just to police officers, to also civilians. Therefore, our policy states that we cannot chase stolen vehicles. However, based on first and second degree crimes, we are allowed to chase, which is certain offenses.
What would be those offenses, Captain?
For example, you have ag assault, escape, disarming a law enforcement officer, homicide, murder, things of that nature. Now, there's one called burglary, right? So burglary, for us to chase a vehicle that's involved in a burglary, that burglary has to be a second-degree crime, which the actor has to be either armed or has to inflict or threaten to inflict bodily injury to the person at home. The burglary statute itself is a third-degree crime. This is where we can't chase for committing the act of burglary.
I see. Captain, the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, too, when you're in a stolen car pursuit, I've been mayor here for 23 years, and back in the day, we've had some of them where we've chased cars up on the Parkway, ended up in Newark, ended up in other towns. Our equipment was wrecked. We've had cars totaled. That is a liability to the police officer and their safety. And more importantly, as the captain said, to your safety. When you start pursuing these cars, they're not going to be doing 35 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour down Raritan Road. They're going to be in excess of 75 to 90 to 100 miles an hour, which makes it very dangerous for everybody. Even if it's in the middle of the night, and we all know we have a very quiet community in the middle of the night, there's no bars in town that are open at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, so activity's kind of low. Car can lose control, go into a home, hit a pole, go into a home, hurt the officer, or hurt somebody that's innocently coming home or going to work at a very early morning hour. The stolen cars is one thing. That's a problem. Coming into your home turns the page as far as I'm concerned. We need your help. I know, folks, I read Facebook like the rest of you, and I post that on Facebook to try to give you a heads up and tell you what's going on in the community. There's nothing to hide. We need your help. The Clark Police Department, the men and ladies who patrol our streets daily, need your help. Unfortunately, we cannot put a police officer on every street. It's impossible. No one has enough police officers to do that. There isn't a municipality in New Jersey that can do that. What we need to do is what, Captain? Tell these folks what would you need out of them to help us try to calm this problem.
So some prevention tips, right? If you hear anything, see anything, if you feel uncomfortable with any situation, looking outside your house, driving, give us a call, call 911. We'll send a police car over there to investigate. Set up, your alarms, lock your doors, lock your car doors, add a couple of Apple iTags if you like in your vehicles, AirTags. Just certain things to make these unwanted guests feel uncomfortable. Call us. We'll respond immediately.
Well, again, Captain, what we're asking for these folks is we need your help. Captain is asking, any noise, anything that makes you feel 1% uncomfortable, things that maybe a year or 5 years ago we might have said, it's nothing. Get on the phone, call the PD. They will be out as quickly as possible to be able to see what's going on. The problem is, folks, with this high-end vehicle, as I was told and what I read about, is that they're going out stealing these cars that are $70,000, $80,000, $90,000, $100,000, $120,000. There's a ring. These aren't just kids. They're kids working for a ring. They send these cars overseas. The kids get money. They get a lot of money. And that's what makes the world go round, unfortunately. The problem is, in today's laws here in the state, they get caught, not going to jail. They're basically going to get a ticket. They're a juvenile. They'll be arraigned as a juvenile. And basically, to make a long story short, they're going to walk away and be out to strike another day. That is not the fault of Clark Township or Clark Police Department. It is what's going on in the state. Laws need to be tougher on these kinds of people. What I'm going to ask you to do, leave your porch light on at night. You have spotlights on, leave them on at night. I know you have a lot of Ring doorbell cameras and surveillance systems around your house. If anything happens in your neighborhood, get that downloaded, get it over to the PD immediately. These are the things that we're going to try to do to deter. Folks, we're using a word here today. The captain used it and I'm using it. It's called deter. I don't know if there's a easy plan to say we're going to grab them, arrest them. That's the ultimate goal. Correct, Cap?
Correct.
That's the ultimate goal. But it's difficult, and I'm being honest with you. If we can deter the cruise lights the police have riding through town at night, we want them to see our policemen and say, Clark, not a good idea. Let's go somewhere else. That is the goal, to try to deter them, let them know that we're out there. Again, folks, you know, laws and policies, a lot of you don't know about. I've been fortunate enough to be your mayor for a long time, and I worked with the police hand in hand and will continue to. But, you know, you have so many patrolmen on the street. Domestic violence call, that ties up 2 police officers. If you have a drunk driving call, that could tie up 2 police officers. It diminishes your force out there. And you could say, well, put more out there. Well, we have, and we will, but there's so many hours in a day, so many hours in a day our patrolmen and women could work, and they're doing the best they can. We're even involving now our Class 1 and Class 2 special police officers into it to see if we can add extra people out on the road as eyes. There's a few other things, again, that we're not going to discuss today because I don't think it's privy for TV or Facebook for other people to hear, but it's good stuff. And again, Captain Akabu, Captain Lott from our Detective Bureau, he's here. And, you know, there's been a couple of things I read on Facebook that aren't really correct. You know, well, you know, the Union County Prosecutor's Office is still running our department. If they weren't, this wouldn't be happening. Folks, that's not correct. We have Chief Harvey Barnwell here, Lieutenant Sophia Santos here. They're good people, totally cooperative, and they're proactive for our citizens of our community. It's not that if I was in charge, he was in charge, you were in charge, this wouldn't be happening. That's an incorrect statement. And what I want by coming here today with Captain Akabu and talking to you is to simmer down a little bit, be as concerned as you possibly can be. I agree, so am I, so is he. But understand what's happening here. It's not whether it's Clark, it's Cranford, it's Westfield, Scotch Plains, other communities. This is happening. One night on News 12 New Jersey, I was watching it early morning when I got up. They were in the same house in Union 2 nights in a row trying to get that vehicle out of the driveway. So lock your cars all over. Keep your lights on. Call in anything that makes you 1% uncomfortable. Call the police. They're out there working. They're out there moving. And the police, so you know, we have GPS in the cars. We know if they're parked, if they're moving, if they're not. The patrol captain has been on top of that. He happens to report to me that the patrol people of our department are out there moving, constantly looking, but they can't be on every street. It's impossible. So please, help us, help you. Cap, anything else you want to leave the people with here today?
Just, we want to assure you that we're out here, big police presence. We're here to support you. We're here to provide safety, which is most paramount. And, again, call if you see anything, hear anything. Lock your car doors, lock your cars, turn your lights on, cameras, and we'll be there as soon as we can. And hopefully we could get these unwanted guests in the act, and put them behind bars. Yeah, send them to jail.
That's the ultimate goal,
Yeah.
Captain, and I'm sure you and your fine men and ladies of our department are trying to give us your best each and every day. Like I said to you folks, myself, the council, we are concerned. We are taking this very serious. We are putting resources into it. Our captain here, Akabu, our other captain, Chris Lott, in the Detective Bureau, they're out there. The men and women of the Clark Police Department, I can confidently tell you, are out there doing the job and trying to do it the best way they can, as they always have. I mean, hey, I'm a supporter of the Blue. You're a supporter of the Blue out there. They've always served our community well. Nothing's changed. But we're dealing with a whole different element now. You know, as society changes out there, so does trouble. And this is a time that, you know, we've never talked about this 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago. This has started recently, within the last year, picking up steam more and more. They know the laws. They know the municipalities, these people. They're out there cruising around looking for targets. They might be out there at 9, 10 o'clock at night looking for targets to go back and hit at 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. So I know you're sleeping at that time of night. I get it. Leave your lights on outside. That's a good thing. Somebody rides by, they can see someone ducking out there behind a car. Any kind of suspicious noise. Your dog starts going crazy in the middle of the night. Get up, look around, call 911. Police car will be out there. So that's it from today. I'd like to thank Don and Phil and Elizabeth for putting this together with myself and Captain Akabu. Captain's been here a long time. He's done a great job for our community. I have full confidence in him and Captain Lott and the Clark Police Department that they will be out there giving you their best. I wish I can guarantee we'll put a stop to this in the next week or so. Some tactics have been taken. This is June 5th. Since Thursday prior to today, nothing has happened in the last 4 days, which is good. But we're going to keep the ball going and be relentless with this until this stuff. And they figure that Clark is not a town where they're wanted to come here and to cause trouble. I feel, folks, very alarmed at the fact as your mayor and a lifelong resident of Clark that's always been such a safe community that now we have to deal with this. And maybe we have to think about who we're electing in office statewide that's going to change these laws, because this is the kind of stuff that gives people the gumption to go out and do and try to obtain your property that you work so hard for. The residents of town are hardworking, good, honest, law-abiding citizens. And it's a shame that people have got to come in here and try to disrupt what you've worked so hard at. I take it personal. The police department takes it personal, and we're going to give you our best. Have any questions, please call the police department, get on the phone, tell us what you know. We'll be out there to help you. Again, from the TV 36 studio here at the Brewer Municipal Building, along with Captain Akabu, I want to wish you all a happy and healthy summer starting very soon. Enjoy yourself. People are on vacations, neighbors, little neighborhood watch, talk to each other. Hey, I'm going away, keep an eye on my place. Good, next week I'm going away, you keep an eye on my place. That's the kind of vigilance we got to have. So again, thank you so much. God bless you and have a wonderful, safe summer. Thank you.